In today's fast-paced and stressful world, we often get caught up in unconscious habits without pausing to reflect on how they affect our lives. Have you ever wondered if just changing a few small habits could significantly transform your life? If your answer is no, you're not alone. I used to think the same. I was even skeptical of those inspirational stories where people claimed that minor adjustments could change their lives. But then, after a week of self-experimentation and challenges, I gained a whole new perspective. Day by day, moment by moment, I realized that life is a series of decisions and daily habits. What if you could improve yourself each day? If you're looking for a way to refresh your life, maybe it's time to challenge yourself. Join me as we explore a transformation journey in just 1 week through 7 simple yet powerful habits that have not only transformed me but also helped me create the life I've always dreamed of. Are you ready to explore and embark on this life-changing journey, starting with the most minor things? Habit 1. Overcoming negative emotions. Negative emotions are an inevitable part of our lives. Whether it's anxiety, anger, or sadness, we often tend to avoid them, hoping they'll disappear on their own. However, ignoring or suppressing these emotions can make them stronger, leading to long-term adverse effects on our minds and bodies. Think back to the last time you felt anxious or stressed. Was your first reaction to try and ignore that feeling and convince yourself that everything would be okay? While this might work temporarily, those emotions usually resurface, often even more intense than before. Instead of avoiding them, learning how to face negative emotions calmly and proactively is crucial. For instance, when I notice myself getting caught up in negative emotions, instead of pushing them away, I start by asking myself, where is this emotion coming from? What triggered it? Acknowledging and naming my emotions allows me to understand the root cause and find a way to address it. When I feel stressed about a work project, rather than letting anxiety take over, I pause, take deep breaths, and remind myself that this feeling is normal. Then, I analyze the source of my stress, perhaps a deadline or a fear of not meeting expectations. Once I identify the cause, I can manage it more logically rather than letting negative emotions overwhelm me. Overcoming negative emotions isn't about avoiding or suppressing them. It's about learning to acknowledge, confront, and resolve them wisely. This is the first crucial step to self-improvement and healing, opening the door to a more balanced and happier life. Habit 2. Paying attention to your impressions. Daily, we constantly receive and react to countless impressions. Our initial thoughts, feelings, and perceptions about everything that happens around us. However, we rarely take the time to pause and consider whether these impressions are accurate or if they might be negatively affecting our mood and actions. The second habit I want to share is learning to recognize and reflect on these impressions. Imagine you just received a short email from your boss. We need to talk. A sense of worry arises, and a flood of negative thoughts starts to surface. Did I do something wrong? Is my boss unhappy with me? These are initial impressions, often colored by emotions and personal assumptions rather than based on factual information. Instead of getting swept up in those negative feelings, I've learned to stop and ask myself, is this something I should be worried about? Is there any evidence that my boss is unhappy with me? When I started asking these questions, I realized many of my worries were baseless. The anxiety stemmed only from my initial impression, from unfounded assumptions. For example, when I received a message from a colleague wanting to discuss a project, I initially felt anxious, thinking I might have done something wrong. But after calmly reconsidering, I realized there was no reason to fear. My colleague simply wanted to share ideas and improve the project with me. I handled the situation more rationally by paying attention to and reflecting on my initial impressions and avoiding unnecessary negative emotions. Being mindful of your impressions helps you better control your emotions and opens up opportunities to approach life more objectively and thoughtfully. By practicing this habit daily, you will gradually become stronger, more confident, and more aware of yourself and the world around you. Habit 3. Reflecting on your connection with the world around you. One of the most important realizations I've had on my journey of self-development is the deep connection between myself and the world around me. We often focus too much on personal goals and forget that our actions affect others and the environment. The third habit I want to share is reflecting on this connection. Every morning, I start my day by taking a few minutes to think about 3 things I'm grateful for. This sets a positive tone for the day and reminds me that my life is intricately linked with others, nature, and the community. For instance, being grateful for a delicious breakfast isn't just about appreciating the person who prepared it, but also recognizing the entire food supply chain, from the farmer to the vendor, who all contributed to that meal. I've also become more conscious of the impact of my small actions in daily life. For example, I switched to reusable cloth bags instead of using plastic bags at the market. This is not only a simple act of reducing plastic waste, but also a way to show respect for the environment. These small changes make me feel I'm contributing to building a better world, even through minor acts. Furthermore, participating in community and charitable activities has broadened my awareness of our interdependence as human beings. When I volunteered at a nursing home, I realized that I was not only helping others but also receiving so much in return: smiles, gratitude, and a sense of connection with those around me. These experiences have strengthened my belief that every small action can ripple out and create positive change in the community. Finally, I've come to see that connecting with nature is vital to my life. Whenever I walk in the park or gaze at the sky, I feel a profound sense of harmony between myself and the universe. These moments bring peace to my soul and inspire me to protect and preserve the beauty of nature for future generations. Reflecting on your connection with the world around you makes you more grateful and reminds you of your responsibility to the community and the environment. This is the foundation for building a meaningful life and creating positive changes for yourself and society. Habit 4. Distinguishing between what you can and cannot control. In the quest for peace and effectiveness in life, one of the most valuable lessons I've learned is the ability to clearly distinguish between what is within my control and what is not. This is a core principle of Stoic philosophy, and when applied to daily life, it can help you reduce stress and focus on what truly matters. Imagine you're facing a health issue. You can control how you care for yourself, eating healthily, exercising regularly, and getting enough rest. These are things you can directly influence. However, you cannot fully control whether you get sick or how your body reacts to an illness. Instead of worrying and obsessing over things beyond your control, focus on the actions you can take to improve the situation. Another example is dealing with negative feedback from others. I used to be quickly affected by others' opinions, feeling hurt and disappointed when someone disagreed or criticized me. But then, I realized I cannot control other people's emotions and perspectives. Instead, I redirected my energy towards improving myself, learning from constructive feedback, and staying true to my values. Practicing this habit requires patience and mindfulness. Every day, I take a little time to reflect on the situations I've encountered and ask myself, is this within my control? What can I do to change or improve this situation? If the answer is no, I learn to let go and accept it. This helps me free up my mental energy, reduce unnecessary worries, and focus on what I can do better. By clearly distinguishing between what you can and cannot control, you find peace of mind and enhance your decision-making and problem-solving abilities. This habit is critical to living a life unburdened by unnecessary anxieties and helps you maximize your potential in any circumstance. Habit 5. Focusing on virtue and character. In a society where we're often drawn to material success and status, it's easy to forget that our value lies not in what we own, but in our virtues and character. This is a profound lesson I've learned, and it has become one of the most important habits I've incorporated into my daily life. Instead of setting goals to be the best or achieve significant accomplishments, I began by asking myself, what virtues truly matter to me? For me, these are honesty, courage, and responsibility. Once I identified these values, I consciously tried to bring them into every decision and action I take each day. For example, in a work meeting where a colleague was unfairly blamed for a mistake they didn't make, I faced a choice: stay silent to avoid conflict or speak up for the truth, knowing it might cause tension. Ultimately, I chose to act according to my values, speaking up to defend my colleague. This made me feel true to myself and earned the trust and respect of those around me. Another example is when facing personal challenges. Instead of seeking a quick escape or blaming the circumstances, I confront difficulties with courage and responsibility. I remind myself that what matters is not the situation, but how I respond to it. By focusing on these virtues, I've grown more robust and confident in every situation. I've come to understand that we don't always need to be the best, but rather the best version of ourselves based on the values and virtues we hold dear. This brings peace and pride in myself and helps me build sincere and deep relationships with others. Developing virtues and character is a long journey that requires patience and determination. Each day is an opportunity to nurture and strengthen the values we believe in, step by step, building a meaningful and fulfilling life. Living by virtue not only shapes your path, but also positively impacts the lives of those around you. Habit 6. Maintaining an objective perspective. Maintaining an objective perspective can be challenging in a world filled with strong emotions and conflicts. However, this habit has been one of the most powerful tools in bringing peace to my mind and allowing me to make clear, thoughtful decisions. It helps me navigate difficult situations effectively and creates a mental space where I can think and act more rationally. Think about the last time you were in a stressful situation, perhaps a disagreement with a colleague or a conflict within your family. When emotions run high, it's easy to lose control and get caught up in negative thoughts, leading to hasty and ill-considered decisions. However, as I began to maintain an objective perspective, I learned to step back from those emotions and view situations from a different angle. For instance, in a work meeting where I received harsh feedback from my boss, I paused and reflected instead of feeling attacked and letting those feelings take over. Is my boss criticizing me personally, or is he addressing a specific issue? By looking at the situation objectively, I realized that the feedback wasn't a personal attack, but rather an opportunity to improve my work. This allowed me to remain calm and receive input constructively rather than reacting defensively. Maintaining an objective perspective doesn't mean denying your emotions. It's about learning to manage them so they don't control you. By taking time each day to reflect and consider situations from multiple viewpoints, I've approached life with greater calmness, reduced unnecessary stress, and made more informed decisions. This habit has given me mental freedom, where worries and fears no longer confine me. Instead, I can live a life full of meaning and clarity, no matter the challenges. Habit 7. Practicing voluntary discomfort. In a society that constantly seeks comfort and convenience, voluntarily facing discomfort is counterintuitive. However, I've learned that stepping out of your comfort zone and consciously opting for discomfort is the best way to build mental resilience and discover your true potential. Practicing voluntary discomfort doesn't mean making yourself suffer unnecessarily. It's about challenging yourself through small but impactful actions. For example, instead of starting my morning with a warm cup of coffee, I begin the day with a cold shower. The shock of the cold water hitting my skin not only wakes my body but also sharpens my willpower, reminding me that I can face anything the day might bring. Such habits have taught me that comfort isn't always beneficial. By putting myself in challenging situations, I've developed resilience and determination, and I've learned to appreciate the simple things I used to take for granted, like a hot meal or a good night's sleep. Moreover, as I continue to face these voluntary challenges, I've gradually discovered that true strength doesn't come from avoiding difficulties, but embracing and overcoming them. Each time I choose discomfort, I learn to manage myself better and experience a deep sense of satisfaction and accomplishment that material comfort can't provide. Practicing voluntary discomfort is a powerful way to explore your limits and find mental freedom. It's not just about strengthening your willpower, but also about fully experiencing life. Through this, you'll realize that you truly understand yourself and your capabilities in moments of discomfort. Conclusion: on the journey of self-discovery and improvement, integrating simple yet powerful habits into your daily life can lead to profound changes. Through the 7 habits I've shared, from overcoming negative emotions, paying attention to your impressions, recognizing your connection with the world, distinguishing what you can control, focusing on virtue and character, maintaining objectivity, to practicing voluntary discomfort, each one contributes to building a meaningful and energized life. These habits enhance your self-awareness and self-mastery and open the door to discovering your true potential. Starting with small, consistent changes can make a big difference in how you perceive and handle life. Every small step forward is a success to be proud of. I encourage you to start practicing these habits today. Don't let worries or challenges hold you back. Instead, approach each day with determination and patience. Try adopting one of these habits and observe the transformation it brings. You'll be amazed at the positive results. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but every small step contributes to creating a better life. By continuing to practice and persevere, you'll find personal satisfaction and inspire those around you. Begin today, step by step, to create positive changes in your life and move toward becoming the best version of yourself. Self-discovery and improvement is a never-ending journey, and each small habit can open up great opportunities for you.